Here we go. So, what I want to talk about today is a film called The Lion King. Like a little animation house called Disney made it. It's kind of niche, not really. Being, there's been more recently defaced horrifically by computer generated animation, and that's really sad because it's such a classic film. If you have an opportunity, I would highly recommend go see it on stage. Go see it real live action, human beings playing the roles. Like it's really good. Highly recommendable. But I want to talk about a specific moment in it. If you're not familiar, it's about a lion pride and the circle of life and all this other nonsense. There's a lot of junk in it, but in it, the main character is a lion prince, I guess you could say, named Simba, and he grows to be like in the adolescent age. He's got a mane, but he's not fully grown yet, and he has an interaction with is a kind of sagic mentor type character named Rafiki, who happens to be a mandrill, which often mistaken for a baboon. He's not. He's a mandrill. And in this exchange, this conversation that they have, Rafiki, the mandrill, he hits Simba on the head with his walking stick, which obviously inflicts pain. Simba's like, "Why did you do that?" Mandrill says, "Doesn't matter. It's in the past." Simba responds with, "Yes, but it still hurts." And Rafiki goes, "Yes, the past can hurt, but you have to move on with your life," essentially. That's what it comes down to. And it's supposed to be this deep, introspective moment wherein we're supposed to learn as an audience that it's best to just move on past your hurts in life and to leave what's in the past in the past. Only problem is, the idea is that it's supposed to be reflective, where it's taking the moment, and it's not Rafiki that hit him, but it's just hurts from the past. He arbitrates it, makes it into this anonymous force that had hurt him, instead of it being an actual person or sentient being that is to blame. And as a result, basically gaslights the lion into believing that he's not guilty, even though they both are aware, they're both present, they're both cognizant, they both saw the thing happen as it was, but for some reason, they just agree to disagree about the cause. And I think that this has a lot to say about the way society is now. See, people don't blame the person who's being a douchebag to you. They don't blame the individual. This is white privilege, or this is male privilege, mansplaining, white male privilege. This is just a product of a racist society. This is any of these kind of things, rather than saying, "See that guy? He's a jerk. And if you just create some space between you and them, both of your problems would be solved. You wouldn't be able to pick on you or whatever, and you wouldn't be picked on by him. Problem solved." And see, most of our exchanges tend to be this way. See, if you work in retail, you work in customer service, anything like that, you're going to have some bad experiences with customers. You might even have more than one in a day, but not every customer is going to react like that. There's the meme of the screeching Karens, right? That, you're going to get those, but it's not going to be everybody. But for some reason, we have this idea in our society that if you get that 2, 3 maybe of them in an 8-10 hour shift, you get those people, that it's okay to just stuff that indignity into a knapsack and just carry it around with you for the rest of that day, for the rest of the month even. That doesn't matter how long it lasted. It could have been 5 minutes, it could have been 35 minutes that you were dealing with this obnoxious person. Once it's happened, it's ruined your day, and that's it. Now, maybe you can try again tomorrow. And I find that to be ridiculous in multiple levels. The same thing is true, like, because we need to be held responsible individually for the things that we do. See, you can get into traffic. Like, I have a long drive, and so I get caught in traffic occasionally. And the thing is, if one person chooses not to use their signal and just suddenly changes lanes, the person next to them then taps their brakes and swerves a little bit. And the person behind them taps their brakes, or at least takes their foot off the gas, and then maybe even swerves a little bit. And now, 4 or 5 car lengths back, now you have a complete dead stoppage. Why? Because one person decided to be a douchebag while he was driving. Probably because he was texting or something while he was driving. And so one person makes a bad decision. And now you have this compound effect in the lives of all those people around him. See, as we move through the year, like most of us have already abandoned. If you've made a New Year's resolution, you've already abandoned it. You've already given up on it. It's not working. It probably only took about 2 weeks for you to figure out that you're not just going to drop a pound a day, and you're not going to start eating healthier. You're not going to start working out every day, simply because you are the one that's preventing you from doing that. That as much as we like to think that if we could just start going to a different grocery store, I'll start shopping at Meijer, TJ Maxx or something instead of the Super Walmart or the Aldi or whatever it is that I'm at now, I'll be able to get better ingredients, and those better ingredients they'll encourage me to eat better. And yet 3, 4, 5, 7 times a week you're eating out. And that's the real reason you're unhealthy, while the food that you bought at the higher priced Meijer rots in the bottom crisper. See, we all consider ourselves to be the constant. We're the neutral party, the control sample in our society, or in our personal sphere of influence or whatever, that we're the normal one, and everyone else out there are the weird ones, and they're the ones that need to shape up and fix whatever it is that they're going through so that your life can be better. When it actually, in your personal life, you are the catalytic enzyme that's causing most of your crises. See, if you would just get up, let's say 5 minutes earlier, you're ready 5 minutes earlier, you're out of the house 5 minutes earlier, you could skip all the cars that are normally sitting there in traffic right there. You could be 5 minutes ahead of them. Could have completely avoided the situation, all of the rubberneckers, all of that nonsense. You could have avoided it. 5 minutes. You chose not to. And the same thing is true, you could go and start taking night classes and get an associate's degree, get a better job. Now you don't have to deal with customers at all. But you don't. You could, there's so many ways that you could improve your life in tangible ways, and the first thing you need to do, though, is you need to stop blaming these arbitrary, anonymous, circumstantial ghosts that you claim exist in society that are acting as obstacles. You need to make that decision, and once you've done that, then you'll start, once you start looking yourself in the mirror that way, that's when you'll begin to see the real obstacles in your personal life, the ones that are keeping you from reading your Bible, the ones that are keeping you from having a decent prayer life, that are going to church on Sundays, and whatever it is that would have a tangible effect on your life.